Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Crüe NFC Roundtable. It is divisional playoff edition. How is everyone doing this morning? Hopefully better than my terrible, terrible Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Could be worse.
I don't know. Well,
he's been doing draft research all of his life.
dude, I started doing that today. It was so depressing.
Oh, you guys did? I'm having fun. You guys not having fun?
Dude, you called it last week. You hit on everything. But
I know.
Anyway, before we get started, we have Brian Robinson, Mike Stout, 47ers suck. He's obviously a Cowboys fan. And we got Eye Candy Annie down in the corner. Are you guys doing all right? Everyone seems kind of chipper, especially Stout. Looks like he got up at 4 a.m., started the grill getting ready for some football Sunday. The rest of us, I went shopping already today, so that tells you where I'm at.
I'm doing good. Just I'm not going to be watching again. So.
Oh, shit. Why watch? You get updates from Jerry every time something happens in the game anyway.
Yeah. So.
And Jerry's not going to be here today. He's battling some sort of illness, so it's just four of us.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of last week's game? I mean, games. We had Vikings fall to the Giants, and then Giants just proved they didn't belong. They had the Seahawks fall to the Niners, and the Bucs didn't even show up at home against the Cowboys. But, I mean, what'd you guys think of those games before we get into today's game and yesterday's games, actually?
Well, the Vikings proved that they were frauds. But the whole NFC North is a fraud. So, I mean,
the Vikings game, it was disappointing because they were in it, but they never felt like they had control of anything. No. Does that make sense? They were just always knocking on the door and never came in. And
the interesting thing about that, I heard some weird stat that with them going 10-0 in one possession games or something like that, and how close their season really was to being worse than what it actually ended up being record wise. But the biggest number on that was their defensive DVOA was like 30th or 31st, and that's horrible. So that kind of shows you where their complete deficiency is, let alone, it's whatever Kirk Cousins you get during whatever game. I mean, he could look awesome in some points, and then in other points you're just like, oh, there's the old Kirk Cousins we know. Throw it to the other team. So,
Kirk, he's not a bad quarterback. He just doesn't wow you like today's quarterbacks. He's not your Patrick Mahomes or your Josh Allen. He's a game technician, really. He just does enough to keep you in the game. He gets a good defense up there. He gets an offensive I don't want to say juggernaut because he's got Justin Jefferson, but he needs someone else, it looks like. Mike left. But he just looks like he's missing something. Am I wrong? I mean, I don't know. He just doesn't.
I don't know if he's truly missing anything. I don't know. I mean, you've got Dalvin Cook. You've got, Justin Jefferson. They picked up Hawkinson in the trade, and I'm sure they're going to end up signing him to an extension at some point. So, I mean, you've got three pieces there. Maybe Thielen is kind of showing his age now. Maybe Thielen needs to be the guy that needs to be replaced, and they get somebody else on. But I mean, I think offensively they're fine. I mean, it's just defensively they could not get a pass rush. They couldn't stop anybody. I mean, if you let the Giants come into your house and beat and throw you around, that kind of says something. And that fraudulent 13-4 record, that's really it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, Andy, we're same division. I mean, what do you think?
Stuff and things. So if you're looking at it as far as like offense, then yeah, you do have to keep in mind that you do have Thaler might be getting up in age, but then so is Dalvin Cook in running back years. So how many more years does he actually have that's going to be able to carry that team on his back? 1, 2, 3, 5. Your
7,
defense,
11.
your defense does need to be updated and improved. But yeah, I mean, you have the Packers are going to probably be rebuilding massively. The Bears are going to be rebuilding. They have that opportunity to be able to actually rebuild from the ground up. So Minnesota's going to be really behind that 8 ball in order to be able to either maintain or actually improve in order to be able to not only go 10-7, whatever the case is, but then take into the playoffs for an extended run.
Well, think about this, and the only team we didn't mention is the Lions. Think about that for a second.
And the Lions, they've showed some serious improvement. So they're going to be making some noise as well. So you have the two teams traditionally, historically the two teams that are lately have not necessarily been the top teams, could conceivably flip the script, so to speak.
Right.
So Minnesota may not necessarily do what they can do what they did this year, and Green Bay again is going to be rebuilding. So who knows what's going to happen next year?
Yep.
So the Giants. I mean, let's look at the Giants game last night. They were never in that game whatsoever. But do you think Minnesota would have matched up better against them? I mean, or is it just
no?
The Eagles are that much better than everybody else in the NFC right now.
No, because the proof was didn't Minnesota play the Eagles in like week 4 or week 5, and they got like totally shellacked. I mean, the proof was already there, and I don't know. To me, the Giants played with house money, honestly, just to even get into the playoffs. And then on top of that, you get them into the playoffs. They had the best possible matchup against Minnesota, and knowing how close those two teams played earlier in the year, the Giants had every shot at winning that game, and it didn't surprise me that they pulled that game off. Last night, I wanted to see more fight out of the Giants, and I guess Philadelphia proved last night that they are the number 1 seed. They're gonna be tough. They're gonna be a tough out.
So what actually gives them? What makes them better than the other teams?
Who?
Defensive line,
Philadelphia.
Defensive line, secondary. Your offense. Your offense is probably, I would say, definitely on the plus side of average. You can actually score some points. But then you go in and you play the Giants, and then you beat the snot out of those guys, and you beat the snot out of the Vikings. So what makes them so much better than the other two teams?
Well, Philadelphia, I mean, you're right. Philadelphia hasn't played anybody up to a caliber of the said Giants. Well, they didn't play Minnesota. I mean, they played Minnesota earlier in the year. But I do think Philadelphia is one of those teams where they're kind of that sneaky, possibly scary good, where offensively they can do so many things because of the multiple weapons Hurts has. Not only that, Hurts kind of showed last night that he can run still a little bit, even though he's still nursing the what is it, an AC joint that he had or something like that. I mean, his throws looked great last night. But you're right, they haven't played a defense up to snuff. Now this is, when you look at the other side of the bracket with San Francisco and Dallas, supposedly with the DVOAs, you're talking about 2 top 5 defenses clashing against each other. So whoever goes and plays Philadelphia next week, that's going to be the interesting thing to see. Can Philadelphia's offense continue to roll like they did against the Giants? That will kind of be the proving point. I still think the most dangerous team in the playoffs right now on the NFC side is San Francisco. I think if anybody beats Philly, it's going to be San Fran.
So
yeah, I don't see anyone
be able to take them to the promised land. Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
Purdy's going to be able to take them to the promised land.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I mean, that we're talking about a prove-it games. This is the prove-it game for Purdy, and because San Francisco has, again, here's another case. San Francisco's on this 11-game winning streak with what 6 or 7 of them now are with Purdy as starting quarterback, right? But Purdy hasn't played a top 10 defense. I mean, the closest to the top 10 defense he's played was like 12th or 13th ranked Washington defense. So now you're going up against I think they're number 3 Dallas is. So this
against
is
the pass
for Purdy. It's a playoff game, and then
playoffs.
Playoffs. So unless Jimmy G is magically healed, this is Purdy's game to prove himself. I mean, if he wins this game, then there's no doubt in my mind that San Francisco could go into Philadelphia and pull the impossible. So
you also have the idea that once you're actually a rookie in things, you don't necessarily have a whole lot of film on you. But now that Purdy's getting some film on him, you're going to be able to actually game plan and scheme a little bit better.
But the thing with Purdy is he's playing for an offense that's top 7 in the league in run. They rush the ball better than any team really in the playoffs right now. They're going up against a team in the Cowboys that are 22nd against run defense, or in run defense. He doesn't have to play well. He doesn't have to be exceptional. He has to be a game manager. He's got to make plays when they're available. He's going to do what he needs to do, and I think Dallas is just not going to be able to handle the ground attack of Christian McCaffrey, which is going to make Purdy that much more effective.
It's sorry to interrupt, but that actually kind of brings up a point that if by chance you are just a game manager, then you fall into the Kirk Cousins situation to where you're not going to be able to come back if you're down by multiple touchdowns. Purdy, of course, I think is actually a little bit currently right now. I think he's actually playing a lot better than Jimmy G ever did, just simply because now that you have that offensive line, you have time to be able to pick people apart, and Jimmy G was never really able to actually pick you apart per se. You do have some offensive weapons, Kittle and a few of the other, offensive weapons that you can actually get the ball to now that you have time to, and he is a little bit more mobile. So, if anybody has that
key word,
if anybody has that opportunity to go into Philadelphia, I don't necessarily see that being the case. But if anybody would have that potential, it could conceivably be San Francisco. Then again, we'll be talking about Dallas next week.
Let's not. I fully agree that the key word in that whole conversation was mobility. Purdy's not statuesque back there. He can move out of the pocket. He's very good in the open field, and he's not afraid to take a hit because you know what? He has nothing to lose. He's out there to prove everything right now. He's showing all his wares, if you know what I mean. It was like what's his name for Jacksonville? Oh God, I can't. Trevor Lawrence. 3rd and 10. Dude has 3rd and 9. Instead of sliding for the first down, he lowers his shoulder, takes on 3 guys, and gets the first down. And that's the difference between a quarterback that's making business decisions and a quarterback putting it all on the line that he can solidify his spot on the roster. That's what you got in Purdy. He's trying to solidify his spot on the roster.
I think somewhere along the way, he's definitely going to catch on with a team, whether it's the San Francisco or I think Indianapolis. Let's hope not. That's actually a spot that Aaron Rodgers.
It's too early in his career for Indy.
Yeah, that's where Aaron is going to stop off. But you have several teams that actually do in fact need quality quarterbacks. I mean, San Francisco doesn't pick him up.
We need a quality quarterback. But
well, that's that's going to be discussion after obviously this whole playoffs and stuff like that is the whole quarterback carousel that's going to be coming up, because I'm telling you, it got weird before. It's going to get even more weird this off season. So
yeah, it's going to get weird to start off in San Francisco alone. You got 3 starting quarterbacks right now in San Francisco.
You potentially have 2 starting quarterbacks in Dallas.
Actually, yeah.
You got
if Dak goes down again, you
Cooper Rush and who else?
Cooper Rush and who else?
Kellen Moore's coming back.
Well, you got Kellen Mond down there. He might be able to play.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's play this little highlight video of last year, and we'll get into this year's game.
America's team. The Niners.
The rematch.
Well, all right. So
That seemed 49er, heavy on that one.
what are you talking about?
I think somebody's, pulling for the 49ers. Everybody knows that Dallas is going to. No,
I'm Jerry G.
Yeah.
Dallas going to lead by 2 touchdowns. You watch.
You see what I did there? I quickly
yeah.
transitioned and changed identities.
Yeah.
Jerry G.
You guys are
So-
from the same hometown, so don't drink the water, you'll get sick.
Yeah. So, Stout, you're a stupid Cowboy fan. So, what are your keys for today for Dallas to pull a victory out?
You say stupid, that's like it's an insult, but I mean, you lost last week, so shush.
But I expected to lose last week.
I did too, so I guess I won the coin flip. Look, so I'm going to keep saying it. We talked. I mean, before I got off, we hit about the Vikings. Just really not, and I think that's Dallas. I think it's hit and miss how well they play sometimes, and I don't think it's going to be. I think last week was somewhat of a fluke. I don't think the Bucks were really as good as now that he left. So I could talk all about the Bucks. So now he's back. Okay, so on to the 49ers.
No, seriously.
This it's going to be the same stuff like I was saying last week. Dak, I know the run game's our defense against the run sucks. The Niners run the ball really well, and that's going to be the key to the game. If Dallas can't stop that run, it's going to be a very long game. Defense is going to get wore out real quick. Offense doesn't start hot. It's going to be defense getting tired, and we're going to end up losing the game. So I think Parsons needs to step. This is, they keep on talking. Everybody talks about how great of a player he is, but he needs to do something right now in the playoff. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
got to
hurt
show.
too, right? I mean,
I know
he have a deep shin contusion, right?
I mean, he's hurt, but you gotta, as a superstar, you're gonna have to, everybody said it. You got to step up, and you got to, when it's time to make those plays, you have to make those plays. And but like I said, Van Der Esch, I think he needs to have another great game to stop the run. And I brought it up last week because I thought he needed it to stop the run, and he needs to do the same this week. I mean, especially if Javon Kearse does not play, which he's a game time decision. It's right. That's going to be. He's going to have to really step up because now looking at the report, I mean, Javon Kearse is game time. Jason Peters is completely out, and I know he wasn't like super playing a lot, but they had packages for him to go in and play. So I mean, that package gets thrown out. They don't even run that this week because he's out. So
yeah, you've been running McGregor in the backfield, right, as a fullback, and putting Peters in as a.
It's McGovern, but yeah.
Oh, it's not McGregor?
No, you keep doing it for the past couple of years, and I keep on trying, but that education you got doesn't.
No, I do it on
stick.
purpose because it irritates the snot out of you. But seriously,
I know.
you put him back there and you throw another tackle in, so you're basically showing run all day. They have like 4 passes they run out of it, and every time they do it, it catches someone sleeping. So that is really a big downfall with Peters being out, even though he's just a transition tackle. I mean, I think that's huge.
So we got that. So, I mean, I haven't looked at the 47ers, what their injury report looks like, but
they're only without Thomas. He's out with an ankle. That's their cornerback. And, of course, glass jaw Jimmy G is out with probably hepatitis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's probably got the same stuff Jerry has. You know what I mean? But I like I said, you know, I've been saying it all year. You know, they suck, dude. If we do not at least make it to the championship.
Yeah, no sucking talk. You're in the divisional playoff game. You can't keep playing that card, Stout. It's just not, you know.
I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna keep playing it. No one believes
it anymore.
I do, because it's been working, and I'm superstitious, so I'm gonna keep saying it. But like, if they don't make it to the championship game, if McCarthy is still there,
McCarthy's not going anywhere.
He should. But
they had their chance to move on from McCarthy last year when you have poor clock management at the end of the game and you lose by a touchdown.
I know.
On the final drive of the game. That was when you get rid of him. They're not getting rid of him. There's no one out there that wants to go to Dallas to replace him.
I can hope.
But
you quit trying to take my hope away.
Anyway.
No, but I mean, I think this is going to be like, I keep on having feelings that this is going to remind me of the old 90s games where it's a lot of run heavy. And then you're going to get every once in a while somebody sleeping and it'll be a big play. Which for the Niners, it's going to be a big run play, I think, because their quarterback doesn't throw past 25 yards. So I think it'll be a big run play out of them. Dallas, Dak's going to have to make some plays, man. He's going to have to get out there and start running again. So, and it showed it last week. I said it last week. Get him out and running a little bit, and it changes how the defenses go up against Dallas. And because he doesn't do it a lot, he wants to stay back there and throw the ball. So I think that's the key again on offensively is Dak to run.
Do you think
No.
Do you think that's the reason why Dak's thrown so many interceptions is because he's restraining himself running out of situations instead of?
I think some of them are, but if you look at about half his interceptions that he has this year, they all hit off the receivers. It's bounced off the receiver's hands. I mean, it looked like me and you out there, Mike, trying to catch a football. I mean, but yeah, there's some times where he's rolled out and he sees it. He's got 15 yards and there's nobody around him. Like, dude, just go. I understand you want to run, or throw the ball, but run. It's right there. Get an easy first down. It's right there. You got to take what they give you, and that's one of the things that me personally, what I see is he doesn't take what the defense gives him. Yeah, soapbox.
So you look like Ricky Bobby right there. I don't know what to do with my hands. But okay, so let me ask you this now. Let's see. You got San Francisco's got the 5th ranked total defense. You got the number 8th ranked rushing attack. Do you really see the Dallas Cowboys really being able to stop that type of a thing? That type of an offense?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I do see
that right there is insight.
Very good retort.
No, dude. Okay, so if you have Dak Prescott running around, don't you think Joey Bosa or even their linebackers going to be able to get to him at least once or twice? Get him maybe kind of roughed up a little bit. Not to mention, get him a little gun shy. He's going to start throwing some picks. Next thing you know, you got San Francisco by 2 touchdowns and winning the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but
That's
he needs to get out.
Okay.
He needs to get out and run. But that's the same thing we could say about if Dallas gets to Purdy, what happens? I mean, we can say that about any other quarterback. I mean, Purdy's been protected pretty well this year. Nobody's really gotten to him. So
Yeah, pretty well.
It was one of the best offensive
Yeah,
lines
but
in the NFL.
you're right. You're right on that. But while you were off, we were talking about Purdy hasn't really played a defense up to snuff until today. And in my personal opinion, this is the game to where you really see if Purdy is that kind of a quarterback, a good one. And I think Dallas defensively, if they could even shut down the run, even just a little bit to force Purdy to pass, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
The issue with Dallas stopping the run on a team that can't, like, they stopped the Bucs. The Bucs ran the ball 17 times, something like that, which whatever. But when you face a team that's running the ball 20 to 25 times a game, that are committed to the run, that have designed run fits for their, or designed play call to where they set up the run, you're going against a defense that is flat out sports cars, right? They're meant to just get after the quarterback. Micah Parsons isn't known for being a run defender. Van Der Esch, he's really good tackle to tackle. But is he good enough to sweep outside and stop the – I mean, Christian McCaffrey's a real running back in the NFL. He's not like just somebody you're putting in there to pick up a block or catch a swing out of the backfield. He's established himself as a good NFL running back.
Yeah, but
even better. Go ahead.
But the whole Parsons thing about how that's where we see his highlights. Nobody shows that he can. I mean, of all the games that I've watched him play, he does a good job of stopping the run. It's just not on his highlights all the time, and that's what bothers me. Well, I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but he does a pretty good job of stopping the run. I mean, he did last year, and this year they're running away from him. So, I mean, you run away from a guy all the time, you're not going to have, showing that many highlights of him stopping the run. But when they do run towards him, he's right there. I mean, so like I said, it's going to be the Niners are going to run, and if Dallas can stop the run, that's going to be the key to this game. If Dallas can stop the run, which with the way they've stopped the run all year, I don't see happen. But that's the key to them actually winning this game. So
if it's a low-scoring game, I think Niners win this game outright. I mean, no questions asked. But if you're up in the 20s, 27, 28 point range where you're scoring more than 3 touchdowns, the Cowboys do have a chance in this game. But if it's low scoring and it's ground and pound, I don't think the Cowboys have the defense that can keep them in it.
No, but the other thing to me is that Dallas's offense as a whole needs to stay on the field. We got to sustain long drives to wear that Niners defense out, because that's the one thing this year the Niners defense has. When they've gone up against people that have kept them on the field, that's when they started losing games, because that defense got wore out quick.
So yeah, you got the 49ers ranked number 1 in total defense, 300 yards per game, and points allowed, 16 points per game. We're tied for first in total interceptions of 20. Plus, with the top 10 offense, on paper, Dallas doesn't really have a chance. In real life and stuff like that, Dallas doesn't really have a chance.
Yeah, I don't.
You guys
usually.
realize-
Is Andy talking? Because I don't listen to first round draft picks that much.
So listen, this is what I want to bring to your guys' attention. We we all need to be Cowboy fans today, because if the Niners advance further than everybody else, we're going to have to kick Jerry off the show. I mean, it's just the way it's going to have to be.
All of a sudden, he'll miraculously feel so much better. Watch. After the game, he'll feel so much better. Watch. It'll be interesting. So.
That would be very unbearable at that if that happens.
Exactly. So everyone go put your red and gold on today.
No.
So we get the curse going and we can jinx the Niners completely.
I'm keeping my curse going that I had all year. They suck. But
so we've wasted time on this non-relevant stuff. Let's talk first round draft pick.
Well, hey.
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, I'm glad Andy and Brian are on here because I was looking up some things just on the NFC East. So I'm glad I can make you guys laugh today. I'm having fun. So just overall with the NFC East division, this is the first time since 1997 3 teams made it to the divisional round. I know the Giants lost yesterday, but it's the first time since 97. Do you guys know who the last 3 teams were?
Yes.
Redskins.
No,
Cowboys.
it was back when it was the old NFC Central. It would have been the Packers, Buccaneers, and oh my God, Packers, Buccaneers, Vikings.
Nope. Packers, Lions, Bears, 97.
Oh my!
I figured.
Yeah. Yep. The last time that happened, that was before the old, they redid the format in 2002. So I thought that was pretty interesting looking at that, just as a whole, the NFC East. And the only reason I want to bring that up is because for so long, the NFC East sucks so bad. I have to at least plug something that we did good for once, So.
Man, Stout's bringing everything. He's got the A game going today.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
there was no other besides that. That's. I see why we're getting the hands involved because that was.
Yeah, no. All right, well, I'm out now, so now it's just filling in whenever.
Yeah. So seriously, we're going to talk something important. So, Brian, here's a serious question for you.
Okay.
Do you think the Packers can shop Aaron Rodgers and climb themselves up in the draft?
That is such a great question. I don't know. But here's what I do know is that both sides,
Muffin Man?
This is reported. Both sides are knowingly, but basically they said a trade is imminent, and both sides are prepared for it.
Yeah, that's
so.
Where though?
Show is I think because of the list of free agents that the Packers aren't going to be able to sign. They're already in cap hell. And you have Jordan Love just sitting there, and he's already saying, I either need to play or I want out. You wasted a first-round draft pick on him. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time that you let the diva go and get what you can.
Is this Jordan's 4th year?
This will be his 4th year. So they have to make it. The Packers have to make a decision on him for that 5th-year option.
Go ahead, Andy.
What other city is going to want Green Bay after Aaron tries to trade him?
Wait, I thought that Aaron was the owner of the Bears.
but seriously, so now you have two quarterbacks, first ballot Hall of Famers, right? They're both going to be basically out there for the taking. Would you rather have, if you're, let's say, a struggling franchise like, I don't know, let's say the Bears. No, I'm just joking. If you're a struggling franchise and you have Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady at your door, are either of them really an option for you? You're a struggling franchise. You know what I mean?
There's a place where I live at down here that likes it's a retirement home for old quarterbacks. So I mean, there's a, I mean, it's right here. Hey, 30 minutes away. It's right here. They're looking for something.
Well, I'm being serious. I mean, you're
So
limited
am I.
on where you can go. Go ahead, Andy.
So one of the reasons why you don't necessarily want, especially an older quarterback, especially those two, is just simply because of the fact that they're going to be wanting to actually shift their offense to what their skill set is. And now that the Bears actually have a quarterback who's actually doing well in the current offense, the way that things are, yeah, there's no way that those two would ever mesh. You know, Tom Brady's pushing 60, Aaron Rodgers pushing 55, 60 also. You should cover up your hair. Oh, that should be easy. Actually, I'll do it for you.
so seriously though, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But there's you have that offense that's actually kind of, for the most part, clicking, and I don't think you can actually bring in a quarterback as established as those two, and actually expect that offense to be that offense. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. My whole point of bringing that up is you're limited the teams that are going to take that option. I mean, everybody says they want Brady, right? Because he's going to bring fans in. He's going to bring free agents in. And he's going to fill your stadium and sell jerseys and make you profitable this year, right? Maybe next year. But there comes a point where that's got to go. It's going to end sooner than it lasts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but there's one team that'll do that, though, besides the Bucks. And it's
the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Think about it like this.
Let's all say it together. The Raiders.
If Tua was actually advised to retire, that still does, in fact, leave an potential opening there in Dolphinville.
I think that's where Derek Carr goes.
Mm-hmm.
Or Jets. It's Miami or New York is Carr, I think. So
you've got so basically you got three teams that are possible destinations for two quarterbacks that want to win now, except for Aaron Rodgers because he just wants an MVP.
We're forgetting a team. The Jets.
I said the Jets.
Oh,
that's where Derek Carr. That's where Carr goes, I think. If Tua stays.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody saw the tweet from Joe Namath. Joe Namath basically said that I will allow my number to be unretired for Aaron Rodgers to come.
But why? If you're Aaron Rodgers,
yeah, Rodgers not going to go there though.
Aaron Rodgers is playing for one thing, right?
Yeah, for Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady is playing for one thing right now, and that's a trophy. So Tom Brady's not going to be going to a team like the Jets. He's not going to be going to a team that's more than one piece away, two pieces away. He's going to go someplace that excites him with the opportunity to win. Aaron Rodgers is going to go somewhere where we can pad his stats and make as much money as he can and get out while he can still walk. They're not the same type of player right now. They're just not.
You're right. But here's the thing, though. That one thing with the Brady situation, and I've read a lot up on this too, is that, and talking to one of my good friends who is a Raiders fan, the Raiders are going to pull out all the stops to get him because McDaniels wants him. And you know the McDaniels and Brady connection. That's where I think that it could end up, is Vegas.
And great. I mean, I don't know how to explain. The whole Brady experience in Tampa has been awesome, right? When he signed there, I was so upset because I figured it was going to set the franchise back. I'm being honest. It's going to set the franchise back for 10 years, right? You got rid of your franchise quarterback who you put all your money and all your eggs into and built your offense around in Jameis Winston. Then you bring Tom Brady in, which great. I mean, I was pissed because I thought give Winston another year, let him see what he can do in the Bruce Arians offense second season. But now you got Brady. Brady brings us the Super Bowl his first year. At that point, I was ready to move on from Tom Brady. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, that's all he was there for, was to win us a trophy. And now we're back in a quagmire of, are we rebuilding? Are we reloading? Are we blowing this thing up? We've got a new coach. We don't have an offensive identity. We don't have a run game. We got one of the best receiving corps assembled in the NFL, but we don't have a quarterback to get him the ball. we're back.
As of Thursday, you don't even have a coaching staff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that's the amazing thing about all this, and this is kind of what I was when you and I were texting each other, Mike. I really wanted to get your opinion on all this. Can you theoretically blame Tom Brady for all of this because he had to have his way, forced Arians out, got Bowles as a head coach? It was never the same.
Yeah, I said that early on that I thought BA leaving is going to railroad or take this offense off the road, right? Brady is beyond reproach, and that's the problem having Tom Brady with your team. Because BA was there, he was in check. He was called out weekly. Every postgame, Bruce Arians was saying, Brady could do this better, Brady could do that better. He wasn't afraid to call out anybody. This week you got Todd Bowles, or this year you got Todd Bowles, who doesn't call out anybody. He didn't even point the finger at his offensive coordinator. He just was like, we got to do better. And that's, I don't know, you got to be accountable for your actions on the field. But to be fair to Byron Leftwich, under Bruce Arians, we were a top 5 offense with Jameis Winston. We were top 5 offense the following season. We were top 5 offense after that. Arians is gone. Brady has not control. I'm not saying Brady was the all be all, but end all be all. But Bruce Arians is gone. Leftwich is left with Brady making up 70 plays that they like a week, and it looked like they only called 7 of them. So you go ahead.
My thing with what you said about Leftwich with BA, as soon as he left, everything went down. So was Bruce Arians like giving him a lot of help? If you got to think about it, I think he was having a lot of success because Bruce Arians was the coach. I'm not saying he's not a bad offensive coordinator, but I think a lot of it had to do with Bruce Arians helping him. But also to your point too, I think with Brady coming in, he just said, I don't have to listen to you. You were never a good quarterback. That's what it came down to.
There you have it. And there you have it. It would be like, you coming into where I work, right? I make boxes for a living. You've never done it. I show you for 2 weeks how to make boxes, and then you're trying to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Well, I'm standing here with years experience, right? Well, you got Byron Leftwich, who was a quarterback in the NFL, who was a backup quarterback in the NFL, who's never won a Super Bowl, who's never done anything really of significance other than get hurt in a Marshall game, get carried down the field, and throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Now you got Tom Brady. He's got 7 Super Bowl rings. Bruce Arians was at least able to say, hey, I've been here. I've got the Super Bowls. I've got the hardware. I got the pelts on the wall. That's my final say. But Byron Leftwich didn't have that pool with Brady.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So I really do think it was Brady saying, no, we're doing this. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is what we're doing.
And I think Leftwich going somewhere with a good coach, I think he'll shine as offensive coordinator. I think I that's my personal opinion with it.
Well, there were reports that he was going to end up somewhere like Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh just re-signed Matt Canada, so that's kind of out.
Well, maybe he'll come to Dallas when Kellen Moore gets a head coaching job.
And he will,
since he's out there looking. So
I think he will get a coaching job. It might not be NFL. He might end up with like the Bears, but
yeah, I know it's like 12 hours early, but I'm worried about Dan Quinn leaving. Hey, that's been bothering me for like 2 weeks now. So, but
anyway, but yeah, that's my take on it, Brian. You had asked me earlier in the week, and I really think that it's just because no one could put Brady in check.
It just amazes me that, especially with your guys' GM, who's really supposed to be like the guy that oversees the whole operation and get everybody in line, why the GM even allowed all this to happen. That's just amazing. I think there's blame to be put on him. I mean, why did
I agree. Why do you let a player dictate who the coach is?
Yeah, Packers fan. I mean, it's the same thing in You're bringing up the question. It's the same stuff happening in Green Bay with Aaron
You're
Rodgers.
right, and I've called them out on that.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying it's funny you two talking about it, and you're the two with the two quarterbacks that are pretty much causing their franchises to suck. Is what it's coming down to. No,
Anyway.
no, it is.
No, I get it.
It's basically you're setting back, and I think Aaron Rodgers plays the long game, and I think he had this in his plan all along. I honestly do, because he cares about himself and himself only. That's why he never said Super Bowl. He said MVP.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, it's plain and simple.
I completely agree with you 100%.
So, and Tom Brady's ego won't let him retire. Know how much I love Tom Brady. I just don't. His ego is not letting him retire, man. He's wanting to chase that Super Bowl so bad, that trophy. So since he's trying to fill a hole, in his life he lost at the beginning of the year, I guess. So
It's not. It's not that. It's not that his ego won't let him step away, but it's his identity. You know what I mean? He's been playing football as a professional longer than most people in the league.
I know, but again, it goes to your ego too. It's not gonna that right there goes to every man's ego. He doesn't want to retire because he thinks he can keep going. So I mean,
top rated quarterback in passing attempts this year.
Passing attempts, yeah, that sounds about
passing and attempts.
Yeah, not this. This.
Oh, my bad.
But you're also
What?
So if you're talking about his ego and all this other stuff, that's it's just simply one of those things. You're absolutely right in the fact that he of course thinks that he can. And you think he would have an opportunity to go to, let's say, like a Miami, let's say, just theoretically speaking, like in Indianapolis, and be able to kind of run the same type of thing that he did in Tampa, and have some sort of success there.
But the difference is teams like Tampa don't come around all the time. Tampa was established. They had two of the best young receivers in the league. They had one of the best up-and-coming offensive lines. You drafted Tristan Wirfs. You have Donovan Smith, but you bring in Rob Gronkowski to sugarcoat it, right?
Which may also be a case next year if he's feeling bored and things like that. But you also answer your own little question right there. So if Tom Brady is throwing 50 passes a game like he had to, then naturally you're going to have receivers that are going to be catching those balls who are going to be the best in the league and all this other stuff. And I think
they were before he was there.
Yes, with Jameis, as you said, you want Jameis for Jameis for president 2024. But let's bring up the entire essence of Jerry G, and with the whole yak thing. You have guys who are actually catching the ball, great, but what is their yards after catch?
No, I get it.
Is their offense going to be an offense that's going to be able to take it again to the promised land, an extended period of time with this particular quarterback?
Look at it this way. If I'm Tom Brady, right, and I got a receiver that doesn't get yak, and I'm still putting up the numbers I'm putting up, you damn right I believe I can still do it. You know what I mean? He's not getting help from his receiver, apparently. That's everyone's take, is that there's no yak, but he's still putting up those numbers. So now it comes down to, where can I go that I can bring my arm with offensive weapons and get me to the Super Bowl?
Seattle.
He's not retiring. I firmly believe he's not retiring.
Go to Miami.
He's going to go on his shield. That's the only way he's going out.
Like I said, the whole Vegas thing, I see it. And why wouldn't you, with Devontae Adams and some young receivers, and then you've got, you make Josh Jacobs happy, and Josh Jacobs was the best running back in the league this year. I mean,
the only reason I don't see that, go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Kansas City Chiefs. That was my reasoning. I don't think I don't think it'd work out for him too well.
Well, that's another point for where I was heading, but I don't think Brady can go to Vegas. One, because his kids are in New York, his son's in New York, and Other kids are on vacation with Giselle's boyfriend. No, they're in. They're right. So I don't see him going to the West Coast to play football. But I do see a quarterback that has a lot of cheese on his fingers going for a reunion of sorts with Davante Adams. Now, you get Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams in Las Vegas. You're going to keep Josh Jacobs because he's going to be ecstatic. He's got a quarterback that can facilitate the ball. I mean, that makes sense to me. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that makes sense. Brady just doesn't make sense to me.
I just want Brady to go there to annoy one of our favorite fans that watches the show. That's all I want. I'm jumping on the Jerry train with that one. So
real quick before we actually let's change topic just briefly because we're getting low on time here. So just FYI about the Bears, they actually did in fact hire a new president and CEO, a fellow named Kevin Warren, who actually was the Big Ten commissioner for 3 years. You also have several different. I don't know. The way that he's talking, it's almost a sure thing that the new stadium is going to be in Arlington Heights because he's actually familiar with new stadiums and his first stint with the NFL. So,
yeah, it's a good
he was
good
the
thing
one
for
that oversaw the stadium in Minnesota, and everybody claims that stadium is maybe the best stadium in the NFL.
Yeah. Good thing for Bears fans with that signing is the fact that during the COVID season, Big Ten wasn't going to play football, and Justin Fields was the mouthpiece for the players, and he was a representative for the players. And he interacted one-on-one with I can't think of his name, but your new
Kevin Warren.
Kevin Warren.
Yeah, one-on-one. They have a great relationship. They've been in contact since that point till today. So there's a lot of respect both ways with that. And I think that's going to go a long way to keeping Justin Fields in Chicago and building an offense around him, something that he can thrive in.
it's a big win for the Bears and a big loss for the Big Ten.
I was going to say, with the Bears are finally showing that they are more than just a mom and pop organization. They went big. They got big, and now big things might happen. And as a Packer fan, I hate to say this, but the Bears are definitely going in the right direction.
You know what?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our Bears news for today. 5 minutes is what our allotted time.
You know what they say? Once you hit the bottom, you only got.
I was just going to mention about the fact that with you still have that number one pick out there, as everybody has mentioned before. You could turn that into several picks, or you can get yourself a premier player. So I don't know. We'll see. But Bears,
I think
37-0 next year. You watch.
Let's stay on the Bears real quick. DeAndre Hopkins is available, right? Bears have the cap room.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley is available. Bears have the cap room. They can package that first-round pick into something very special. They'll be able to get picks and weaponry. I mean, Bears are sitting pretty right now, and with Caleb Williams declaring for the draft, that makes that pick not less valuable, but it diminishes it a little. But they can still get that
Caleb
pick.
Williams in the NFL? I thought I just read that he was going to Tennessee.
Oh, I could have swore they said he declared. But
I will tell you the team to watch in that situation in terms of trading the number one is Indianapolis. Because there's already rumblings going out that basically Irsay and whoever the GM is now for India, what's his name?
Chris Ballard.
Chris Ballard has already said we're swinging big. We need to get the future here now. And they've already identified who they want to be their quarterback. And they will do whatever it takes to get him, meaning basically an idea was floated around that the Bears would trade the number 1, get Indianapolis's number 4, a second rounder that year, and a first rounder
And
the
Pittman.
next year, along with Michael Pittman Jr.
Yes, sir. That'd be the only way I'd do it.
Let's see. Indianapolis has a linebacker that would still be kind of a nice pickup as well.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there were several teams that are looking, but
I don't think they get rid of Leonard. I don't. Sure.
They got to have somebody to sell tickets.
Yeah. He's it. And then he did play this year, so he got hurt.
but
That's why they didn't sell any tickets.
it is in Indianapolis. That's the other part. So.
Yeah.
But you have several different teams out there. Everything from Carolina to even if you go with like Dallas, Dallas is. I haven't really showed a whole lot of interest, but they're like, well, because you know how Jimmy Jones is.
Yeah. I don't see it happening.
That pick, like I said, they can turn that into weaponry and ammunition. So they're sitting pretty right now, and you should be excited as a Bears fan.
Yeah, because you got a CEO that's actually willing and a GM that's actually willing to actually make some serious noise. Plus, you have the most cap space and the number 1 pick. You can easily turn into at least 2, maybe 3 other picks, and you're absolutely right. Quality players.
The worst thing that could happen in the NFL is Bear fans having hope. I'm telling you, that's the downfall for this league.
See, it's weird too. I was going to mention about Dallas always making it to the playoffs and then always losing. So that's
Yeah, I
actually
know.
worse than actually being 3 and 13.
We're here. That's right. That's right, buddy.
So, you guys got any clothing thoughts? I like CK1. No, you guys have any clothing? Can't even say it. Closing thoughts for today?
Yes.
Awesome. And Stout?
As always, the Cowboys suck. Suck really bad. If they're going to suck today. I'm done.
Ryan?
Bet your money wisely today.
Yeah, we didn't get there. So, someone got long-winded. It was probably me. But just before we get off here, I want to point out the fact that the injury to Patrick Mahomes might change the whole scope of these playoffs going forward. So the NFC actually has a chance at pulling it out this year. Ending the show, we're going to kick it to where you can find us on Let's Talk Sports, and then we'll just get out of here. So till next week, you guys have a great week.
The Crüe NFC Roundtable is proud to partner with the Let's Talk Sports Network, available on YouTube, Roku, and Amazon.
Hey, leave me